The bat, I'm going to talk about the NFC North. That's what I know. So here we go. Vikings. Vikings took on the Steelers this week. They won. And guess why? Because Christian Ponder was on the bench with a rib injury. That's hilarious. Because you know what? A lot of quarterbacks in the NFL have a rib injury. You know why a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL have a rib injury? Because they play football. Yeah, Tony Romo gets hit all the time. He's probably got a rib injury too. Yeah, that's hilarious. So, Vikings are playing politics, obviously, here. They don't want to admit they made a huge mistake in drafting him and keeping him around. They grabbed Matt Castle as insurance. He's starting. He played well. He's not blowing it up. I mean, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, he's not Peyton Manning. He's not any of those kind of guys. But he's going to get you wins. What I was impressed by, one play in particular, the post pattern to Simpson, in the end zone. Obvious blitz on the goal line. Now, in that situation, Christian Ponder normally get happy feet, take off running, make a huge mistake, and not score a touchdown. It was an obvious read. Blitz. The corner had outside leverage on Simpson. It was a simple pass to the post. Touchdown. 6 points on the board. There we go. That's what the Minnesota Vikings have to do. In any situation, you're going to get 8 guys in the box. You're going to have wide receivers open. All you got to do is make the pass. That's it. So, I mean, Matt Castle doesn't have to do a whole lot to win those games. It's nice to see. It's really nice to see a quarterback playing well for that team. All right. Talk about some fantasy football right now. Greg Jennings, pick him up. If you don't already got him, if he's somehow available in your league, get him. Because all of a sudden, Greg Jennings is available. He went for 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. That's going to keep happening. Greg Jennings is now a target. Greg Jennings is going to get targeted, just like he was with the Green Bay Packers. Not quite as often, obviously, but he's going to get a lot of targets. So go get Greg Jennings. Go get a lot of those receivers. There's a lot of talent on that team all of a sudden. Brings up my next point. Kevin Rudolph, who was a kind of a fantasy tight end guy you wanted to get because he was Ponder's security blanket. His value is going to drop because just frankly there are a lot of targets on that team that are opening up with Castle being able to just simply throw the ball and Ponder not piss his pants because that's really what was going on. Ponder was like, oh my god, there's a bunch of people, they're going to hit me, and he would run out and fucking tear. It would be horrible. He'd fuck shit up all the time. So. Grab Greg Jennings, grab Simpson, grab anybody with a pair of hands that's going to catch the football. Just know that Rudolph's value is definitely dropping. I'm drinking because, why not? And there aren't enough sports shows out there where anybody drinks a beer. I'm real. I'm going to swear. I'm going to drink beer. Get used to it. Okay, so let's talk about the defense for the Vikings. Because the offense, it's like I just said, Castle. He's gonna make that defense a lot better. I don't need to talk about Adrian Peterson. What's there to say about Adrian Peterson? He's the best running back in the league. He makes guys look like 4-year-olds. He runs all over the place. He scores touchdowns. He's the best running back in the league. Kaput. Okay. Defense is still shaky for the Minnesota Vikings. That secondary is full of holes. Chris Cook is having a hell of a time. He can't play bump and run. He actually is almost better in zone because he can sit back. He's not a horrible tackler. He just lets the guy make the play. He can tackle. He can limit his failure, which sounds horrible, but that's really what he's doing. Yeah. Let's as far as the Minnesota Vikings secondary, full of holes. They're going to have a hard time going forward. Harrison Smith, probably the only bright spot on that Vikings secondary. There's only so much that kid can do. He can play center field all day, but there's only so much that kid is going to do. One thing I saw against the Steelers are struggling all over the place. That's no surprise to anybody. But they threw a really nice ball to Emmanuel Sanders early in the game. And really, it was a jump ball to the right side of the field, Chris Cook's side. I'm guessing he had single coverage because Smith was nowhere to be found. The safety was nowhere to be found. Either they blitzed or they played cover one. I'm not sure what they did. But it was a jump ball, and Sanders just flat out outplayed Chris Cook and took that ball from him. Emmanuel Sanders is not a great wide receiver by any means. I just dumped him off my team. I would just recommend the same if you got him on your team. I'd get rid of him. However, that was a telling sign for the Minnesota Vikings secondary is that their corners are very weak in man coverage, extremely weak in man coverage. If a guy like Emmanuel Sanders can just flat out run 40 yards, jump up, catch the ball, and really get no defense, and man, you got a problem. All right, another thing I saw, As far as the Vikings, they have a hard time blitzing. This was shown against uh, Ben Roethlisberger. I saw a blitz go, and I'm thinking this was in the first half. And basically, what happened was they blitzed and they opened up Jared Robinson. It was a run blitz to open up Jared Robinson on the edge. And so Robinson came off, and he just got okey-doked, flat okey-doked by Le'Veon Bell, who's not really great at that. And he just looked like an idiot. Jared Robinson's laying on his back. And just they have a hard time blitzing. I don't know really how else to say it. They don't really get to the quarterback or to the ball carrier too well on the blitz. They're better off just forefronting it. Jared Allen's really been stepping up. They're really just four-manning it, getting after the quarterback, doing what they have to do there. So another thing the Vikings struggle with is they have a hard time blitzing. Cedric as far as I'm seeing, Everson Griffin needs to step up because I haven't seen much from Robinson at all at the other defensive end spot opposite Jared Allen. So maybe if Everson Griffin steps up, he can, play 5 technique, play 7 technique, open up those blitzing holes, and maybe get some more success. Who knows? Chad Greenway maybe have a little bit more room to move, but it's what I'm seeing right now. Like I said, Jared Allen stepped up big time against the Steelers. Big time. About time he stepped up. I think Jared Allen's probably due for another pretty good year. He's got he just grabbed 2.5 sacks against the Steelers. He's got 3.5 on the season. So I think it's, Jared Allen's the kind of guy, once it's put up or shut up time, he puts up. He plays ball. So don't shit the bed if you are a Vikings fan. You still have Jared Allen. You still have a pretty solid defensive line. You still got Chad Greenway. Your secondary needs to play better, period. Fumble at the end of the game, great close for the defense. And I'm bad-mouthing the defense right now on the blitz. And how did they get that fumble? They blitzed and they blew it up. So, great play. That was Sharif Floyd all the way. Sharif Floyd is probably one of the best picks the Vikings have had in years, other than Adrian Peterson, I think. I saw Sharif Floyd dance like a fucking 300-pound ballerina during the combine. So, Sharif Floyd, way to go. Minnesota Vikings, way to close that game out. Haven't seen you play like that in a while. Awesome. Awesome. As far as the Vikings going forward, like I said, Matt Castle, keep doing what you're doing. Those wide receivers, you're good players. Just play. Ponder, look for a new job because you're fucking done. I don't know what the hell Leslie Frazier's talking about keeping you around as the starter. I think he's just stroking Ziggy Wilf's ego because nobody wants to admit they make a mistake. Because if Castle is healthy, if Castle can fucking breathe, and they put Ponder taking snaps, somebody's getting fired. That'd be a horrible decision, just an awful decision. So yeah, Greenway and Harrison Smith, Chad Greenway and Harrison Smith are leaders on that defense. If that defense steps up and can start stopping the pass, and can start getting in top 10, passing rankings as far as defense goes, and continues to stop the run, you are looking at a playoff team. You're looking at a possible division winner right there. Because, once again, 28. Adrian Peterson's going to win you some games. All right, moving on to the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Lions out of the NFC North. Look out for the Lions, man. They are a dangerous football team. Reggie Bush has got to be the best free agent pick. He's like this year's Darren Sproles from a few years back. Reggie Bush has just fit that team to a T. He opens up so many things, and as well as Calvin Johnson opens up things for Reggie Bush. Got to give a big shout out to Dominic Raiola, starting center for the Detroit Lions, former Badger. That's where I'm from Wisconsin. So yeah, Detroit, that offensive line is anchored by Raiola, and they are moving guys all over the field, doing great job zone blocking, because that's really what you have to do with Reggie Bush. It isn't a pull and block kind of offense like the Bears run. It's more of we're going to block guys, and we're going to move guys where they need to go. It's his own blocking scheme, and let Reggie Bush make plays. So they're doing a great job there. Stafford, one negative thing. Matt Stafford's playing okay. He's winning ball games. He's doing all right. Fantasy-wise, man, I'm starting to lose a lot of confidence in Matt Stafford. He's kind of a one-trick pony. He throws to Calvin Johnson all the time. Calvin Johnson is a total security blanket for that guy. So, if you're a fantasy owner of Matt Stafford, you might want to start thinking about a backup plan because there's only so much production you're going to get out of a quarterback that throws to one guy primarily. They're still going to win some games, and Reggie Bush needs more targets. That's the other thing. Matt Stafford needs to realize he's got a 4-3 guy over there playing half.